Welcome to the part B of the class. The question again is adapted from Gauteng Prelim Paper 2 2024. Gauteng Prelim Paper 2 2024. And we are looking at question 3. For now, we are going to move on to question 3.2.3. Question 3.2.3. The owner suspects that bars of face soap are being stolen. The owner suspects that bars of face soap are being stolen. Provide calculation to confirm a suspicion. Now, to confirm the suspicion of the owner, there is an amount of closing stock that we are supposed to have by calculation. Now, you find out that when you do your calculation, the amount of closing stock you are going to get will be more than the amount of the actual closing stock that we have in the business, which was given in the question. So the difference between the amount of closing stock we are supposed to have by calculation and the amount of closing stock that we have in the question, the difference between the two will be the missing stock. So when we're talking of missing stock, we concentrate on the units of stock. We concentrate on the number of units of stock. So let us start. How many units do we have as our opening stock? The unit of our opening stock is 4,800 plus the units that we bought into the business during the year, which is 19,500. We minus the units we have returned back to our supplier, and then we minus the units that we have sold, which is 18,500. Now, when you do all this, you find out that you are supposed to be left with a total unit of 5,700. We are supposed to be left with a total unit of 5,700. But when you check the units of your closing stock, they said our closing stock is 5,650. So 5,700 minus 5,650 will give us a missing stock of 50 face soap. So the missing stock is 50 face soap. And then we look at question 3.2.4. Question 3.2.4 says, Peter is thinking of employing another security guard at a monthly salary of 6,200 to help to control the stock of face soap. Explain why this is not a good idea. Provide 1 point and with figure. Now, remember the total amount we have used on this face soap. We should calculate the total amount we have lost on this face soap. Remember, we calculated the weighted average price of each of these face soap. We said the weighted average price of each of these face soap was 46 rand 550 cents. The weighted average price of each of these face soap was 46 rand 50 cents. So how much have we lost on this 50 face soap? We have lost 50 rand times 46 50 cents. We are going to say 50 rand times 46 rand 50 cents. How much have we lost on this face soap? We have only lost 2,325 rand. We have lost 2,325 rand. Now, the owner of the business wants to employ someone that will be taking 6,200 every month. So 6,200 times 12 will give us what? 74,400. 74,400. Now, let us see which one is more expensive. If the owner should employ someone that takes 6,200 every month, annually we are going to be paying that person 400. But the total cost of the 50 soap that we have lost is way lesser than that. So this should tell you that the idea of employing a security guard will not be a good one, because it will cost the business more than losing the number of stock. Now we move on to the question on management of inventory. The question of management of inventory, 3.3. The information relates to chill wave cooler for the financial year ended 31st July 2024. The business sells one type of cooler box in 3 branches. The business credit term are 30 days. The business credit terms are 30 days, required. Provide one distinct problem with figure relating to each branch with a corresponding solution for each. The one problem for each of the branch with a corresponding solution for each of this problem. All right. When we look at the business has 3 branches. One in Sedibank, another one in Swani, another one is in Mogale City. Now let's look at the information for each of these branches. If you look at the one in Sedibank, we have opening stock of 300. Sedibank has opening stock of 300 plus purchases of 3,200, and our closing stock is 2,900. It means how many units did we sell? Units sold is just 600 units, which is very low for the whole year. So you saw that this Citibank branch has a very low sales. So the problem there is what? Low sales. Low sales of 600 boxes. So how do you solve the problem of low sales? Advertising. You advise the business to do more advertising, give discount. You can even advise them to reduce their markup, and also they should do promotion. Everything that can increase sales should be the solution that you suggest here. Then the second one is for Twani. For Twani, you find out that the drawing unit is a lot. The owner of the business took a hold of 15 units for its personal use. The owner of the business took 15 units for his personal use, and that is too much. So you encourage, the solution will be to encourage the owner to have what we call separate business entity. To have separate business entity. That principle is saying the owner should be able to separate his personal need from that of the business expenses. So the needs of the owner should not be placed on the business. So we are saying the owner must separate his personal needs from the business finance. And then the last one, Mogal City. Mogal City, if you check that branch, Mogal City, if you check that branch, you will find out that their creditors payment period is low. They use 31 days to pay the creditor, while the debtor takes 40 days to pay back their debt. 31 days to pay their creditors, and the debtors use 40 days to pay their debt. So their credit terms should be checked. They should seek negotiation with their creditors to give them more time to pay. And then they should adjust their debtors collection policy. And then that will be it. Thank you so much for this class. We've been able to see Gauteng Prelim 2024 paper 2 question 3. For any question, please try to reach out to us. If you have any questions that you want us to go through on this channel, please try to send your comments and your question through the comment section. Subscribe for you to be able to get class notification. Like to encourage the tutor, share to help other learners, and comment to ask questions. That is me for today. See you in the next section. Bye.